You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translated W259 AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Tony Basilio, welcome you to a Monday. Welcome to my vacation. As ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Bino, welcome to my vacation. And Brian Hartman, welcome
Tony,
to my vacation.
Glad to be on vacation with you, Tony.
You got it, my brother. Bino texted me last night. He's like, how's the beach? I'm like, oh, I'm not there. I'm sorry, Bino. I forgot to tell you. Couldn't make it on my vacation. So I kind of have a dilemma here as we start today. Bino, do I talk about things from camp as I hear them and then wonder aloud what the coaching staff must be thinking as I hear what I hear from camp? Do we just ignore it and not get into it? Like last year, for instance, okay? Because everything's in context here. Last year, I had Nico in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. College Football Hall of Fame. I had him with a Heisman Trophy. I I had him. I had him canonized a saint of Polynesia. There are just so many things that we had for Nico last year. Just so many plans. And so, boy, I hear our quarterback play really stinks right now through week one. Um, those guys were having trouble throwing the ball against air, Bino, this week. Is that something I share? Something we continue to share as we hear it through camp? Do I ignore it? Like you tell me. We've been doing this a while. And here's the other thing. Part and parcel of this time of the year, defenses are going to be way ahead of offenses. Bino, you remember that year you and I went over there and Manning was like in his second or third year? We went to a practice and we looked at each other and said, are we going to be able to move a ball? I mean, are we going to see like these guys complete a pass? Do you remember that, Bino?
I do, Tony, and I remember going the next year thinking, we absolutely stink on offense. I mean, stink. We've got no shot, and we won a national championship. So,
And so that's kind
yeah,
of the point.
I mean, I think you have to talk about it, Tony, with the understanding that it's practice. That's what it is, and you're exactly right. It's just, generally this time the offense is having to work on more things.
Yeah.
And it takes more time for them to be prepared than it does on the defensive side.
So the thing we do here is, in kind of my lane, is I'm in lane I don't care. And what is lane I don't care? Lane I don't care is I'm not here to make Danny White happy. That's lane I don't care. I don't care if coaches get mad at me in any of these sports. I'm here to serve the fans in real time as best I can. Now, when you're doing that, is your take always going to be right? Nobody's right 100% of the time. I'm not God. And if when I play God, I make a mess of things at any point in my life. See my back and my 3 hours of sleep to prove it last night. But at the same time, when I hear what I heard last night, and guys, everybody has seen the Zap Reuter film with a big U and a T in it. I meant to do that last night. The Zap Reuter film. ZAPRU, capital U, capital T, the Zap Reuter film last night that UT released. Peter, why did they blurt out the quarterback that threw the interception? What do you think that's about? Why would they? How great is that? Are we for that or against that?
Oh, I'm for that. I'm for that, Tony.
Because it's just so nonsensical. I mean, it's the first week of practice.
I mean, my not affection for, but for old mob stuff. Anytime you can kind of put somebody in witness protection, I'm for it.
So,
blurt out their face.
Blurt out their face.
Disguise their voice.
Disguise a voice. That's a great line. Knowing what I know, and this is what I know, it would be really hard through 1 week for the quarterbacks to look worse. It would be really hard through 1 week for the quarterback room to look thinner than it does. Now, I don't know what any of that means. Because again, the context is, and this is the context, me and Brother Bino sat together at a practice, and then the next year he went over there, Manning's senior year. The year after Manning left. But That might have been Manning's senior year. We were sitting there in '97. And by the way, in '97, we had some damn beast on defense. And we went over there for one of these early season scrimmages like this one, and they were running team stuff and doing things and whatever. And I mean, that offense couldn't do anything. I'm talking anything. So if you go to tclub.team today, and thousands of new people are, and the reason they are is because I'm giving you what we're hearing at a camp in real time, and we'll continue to do it as I get it. But the thought occurs to me, Bino, I wonder if during this camp, right? Because I don't know what's real and what's not, but my understanding is right now, that McIntyre kid looks like a really, really, really nice player. But he's not going to play. And I'm not here to start anything, but he's not going to play. Because we don't want to get him killed. We agree on that, Bino? When you look at him, that kid looks like Manute Bol in a football uniform right now. I got to get some weight on that kid.
Yeah, Tony, the clip I saw of him, he was in shorts, and it looked like sophomore high school basketball players' legs.
Bino, they say this kid has a real chance to be a really nice player. That's what I'm hearing. Now, when he's doing the third team thing like he's doing right now, I want you to think about this. So I talked to somebody last night, told me this. There's five wide receivers basically in camp. And when you pull Matthews out and you pull Brazil out, you got 3 or 4 guys now. You follow me?
Yeah.
Like they're almost back to that joke we had when they had 7 guys hit the portal. They could almost have their quarterback room meeting in Small Mike's phone booth over in the Rocky Hill community. And so here's where I'm at today. I don't know how to talk about this like we're talking about it without you going crazy, you the living fan, and making more out of this than we should be making out of it. Or is it concerning? Because they say that this kid early on in camp, Joey Football, is turning the ball over. He's turning the ball over. They're saying that Merklinger guy, Bino, is over there going, hold my beer. Because he had a rough week. A rough week. Does it surprise you that our defensive line, in the stuff they're doing with the offensive line, is roughing those guys up? Not at all. Not at all. I was told yesterday by 2 people that the offensive line is going to be fine, but camp is going to be very hard on them because they're going to get roughed up. Surprising, Bino?
No, not at all. With it's going to obviously take this line some time to gel. I think they've got talent there. I think it's going to take some time to gel, and it's the perfect unit to be practicing against. I wouldn't want to be opening up against them.
Another thing I was told is the defense. It feels like we're back in 24 again because the defense is absolutely the strength of this team. And the Colton Hood kid from Colorado is a nice player. Again, we're weekend. Again, I had Nico in Canton, Ohio. Okay? He was up there with Sterling Sharp the other day. Was it Sterling or Shannon? Which Sharp went into the Hall of Fame the other day? Sterling Sharp from
Sterling
South
went in.
Carolina. You talk about a fantastic man and a fantastic football player. I never was much on the brother, the broadcaster. I never got him as a broadcaster. But the other Sharp, you talk about a class guy, man. He was sitting there with Melissa Stark the other night. That guy values people. I caught a little glimpse of that when they were interviewing him on the sidelines during that game because I wanted to see Hooker play the other night. But you know, to the listener, if I don't talk about this, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. But when I talk about it, I've got this dilemma in my mind because I'm not going to believe this stuff till it gets on the field. So when I say that, okay, that goes for the good stuff and it goes for the bad stuff. I told you that when I heard Joey Football was going to be canonized and they were going to name, a street after him by the way he's playing in by the way, I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing he does not look good. So let's not go there, okay? But what I told you was, in the words of Roger Daltrey, we don't get fooled again. One of my favorite lines from any song of all time. That's a great, great jam. So, we don't get fooled again. Our offense has a long way to go. They have a scrimmage on Saturday. Now, I will say this. When you're having trouble throwing the ball against air, that's not a good sign. Bino, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that, Tony. I think you should be able to go out there and drills and throw the ball where you want to throw it. Again, when you got your top two receivers out from an inexperienced receiving core, and you're in a transition year at quarterback, I don't know that it's terribly surprising early.
On the other side, I want to talk to you if you went to that Bristol game. That looked very neat. I got to make confession. We didn't spend 1 minute on here talking about that Bristol game. That was really neat to see the way they configured that, the way they pulled that thing off, and the amount of people that went up there and watched a pretty good team in the Reds. They're not great, but they're pretty good. They got a chance to make the playoffs if they play well down the stretch. Maybe edge my Phillies out. Or maybe edge out the Cubs or the Brewers. Maybe jump ahead of the Padres. And then a poor Braves team that just, I don't know. If I was a Braves fan, this is a point in the year where you say, bring up the kids, let me watch tomorrow, and let me forget about today. That's the best thing happens in baseball. Let me think about tomorrow. Bring me some kids up. Which they did. They brought that one starter up, the kid that pitched at was it Hurstead? The kid that pitched at Florida a couple years ago. Wow, looks like he's got a future. When I watch baseball right now, they call these the dog days, A thought occurs to me, man, I can't wait for some college football. And I love I love me some baseball. I'm gonna give Bino a chance to say a word here about the Yankees because I gotta give Jazz Chisholm a lot of credit. I watched probably too much baseball. A lot of us have with all these sports. They're so accessible, you know. He got he got doubled off the other day on a ball where he literally had nowhere to go. Um, there are in stupid plays, and then there's some of the things I see these major league guys do that are making bank. You wonder if they've ever even played the game. And then I want to give a shout out to the Phillies and the Tigers. Man, when baseball is played well and it's played at a high level, it feels like a celebration. And it wouldn't have mattered to me if the Phillies won their series, got swept in their series, only won 1 out of 3 in their series, whatever. The Phillies and the Detroit Tigers, and they finished up a game last night on Sunday Night Baseball, and they had that stupid StatCast. But you know, those guys doing the StatCast, they care more about how hard a ball's hit as to whether or not it's a hit or not. Have you ever watched one of those StatCast games, Bino?
I have not, Tony, and I will not.
Well, that's what they did. That was the presentation last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, the StatCast. And they're doing another one here in a couple weeks. I think you guys play that. I think you play in the StatCast game. So maybe you'll get a chance to see it. It's all about probability of the next pitch, hot zones, cool zones for the pitchers. This guy here hits this ball. I mean, it's okay. But I don't listen, I wasn't good in geometry. I wasn't very good in math. I'm not very good at looking at graphs. I don't grasp concepts like that. I'm a learner who learns from experience and learning. That's how I learn. So to me, that was like watching. You took a great baseball game and turned it into a boring classroom. Laura goes, "Do you get that? Do you get what that says over on the side there?" I asked her, "Do you understand the map on the side there, that heat map thing?" And she goes, "Yeah, what do you think I am, a dummy?" And I looked at her and said, "Well, I don't understand it. Would you explain it to me?" She thought I was cracking on her, Bino, and I was saying, "Please explain it to me." I said, "Well, could you?" She says, "Yeah, well, see where that's blotted out, blah blah." Isn't baseball, when it is done well, Bino, isn't that a beautiful, beautiful game? And then when you have, and I'm not trying to trigger you, okay? When I see your manager stand up there last night after the way they've played with that bloated payroll, okay, and act like he's got, and we don't talk about Yankee baseball in here, but things like that in sports piss me off. Show some emotion. Have some guts, man. Look, I know you're beholden to these guys to have your job. Can you please? His grandfather and his father were not like that. Bob Boone, not like that. Ray Boone, not like that. That's not how those people rolled. But these guys, and you and I have a mutual friend, Bino, who will not play the game to stay in the game, and I respect the hell out of that because these guys know what's right. They know how that game is supposed to be played. They damn well know what it's supposed to look like, and they're afraid when they go before a camera. Now, how do the players have all that power, Bino, where you won't go before a microphone and say, "Hey guys, we had a guy on first base today get doubled off in a game that wouldn't happen in co-ed softball by people that only play moderately during the week." And then you stick the guy's ass on the bench for 2 games. What happened to that, Bino, in sports? And I want you to talk about your Yankees.
Tony Boone is what he is. That's what he was brought in to be. He was brought in to be a kindergarten teacher and a coddler. That's the reason that Girardi got fired, because he would have managed the team and he would have taught people when they do stuff wrong how to play the game right. Boone doesn't do that. Boone was brought in when Sanchez and Judge and Torres and all those guys were kids, because they were afraid someone was going to hurt their feelings. Well, the only one that can play now is Judge, and you couldn't ruin him if you wanted to. He's a once in a 25-year player who I could coach, and he'd be just fine, and he'd be a superstar. So they got what they wanted, and this is the results. You said there's nothing worse in the world than bad and boring. I'll tell you something worse: bad and stupid, and that's what the Yankees are. That's what they've been all year, except for 1 month in the month of May. That's the only month a whole year where they've looked like a playoff team. If they make the playoffs, that's an argument for your side that there's too many teams in there, because they think. They've got, you talked about Jazz. Yeah, they hit a pop-up, an infield pop-up. He's on first base, and he wanders off far enough to get doubled off. And he says, well, I played here, and I know that we have a tendency as a Marlin to drop that ball and erase me and allow Goldschmidt to be on base. He said, if that had dropped, I would have beat it to second. No, you wouldn't have, you moron. You're not beating that ball out to second. And if that's what they want to do, then you allow them to do it. And it's just and then his manager comes out and says, well, that's his thought process was right. No, his thought process was horse bleep. That's what his thought process was. And that's what your thought process is most of the time. So the Yankees get what they get. They got a general manager who came in 1998 and won world championships in 98, 99, and 2000 with teams he had nothing to do with building. Bob Watson, Gene Michael built those teams. And somehow he's won one world championship with the New York Yankees. New York Yankees. Not the Cubs, not the flipping Marlins, the New York Yankees. He's won one world championship in 25 years since. And he's as secure as he can be. So they get what they get.
That series you guys played with the Phillies, I was texting you. Generally, I leave you alone during sporting events, but when it's 1-162 in baseball, we can laugh with each other. We play each other's teams. That's the nature of that sport,
Yeah.
And Bino and I are going back and forth. I'm like, how are you watch this night in and night out? He goes, it's very hard. Because he and I both, listen, this is the heartbeat and the rhythm. Like the Phillies play I'm not going to bore you with the gory details of me, okay? I slept like 3 hours last night because my leg flared up from this sciatica stuff. And praise God for all the people that have reached out to me that have gone through it and said, hey, you're going to get through it. Just relax. It is what it is. Because it really, really messes with your mind when you can't sleep. Okay? I'm not, all kidding aside here. I love our community here because a bunch of people have reached out and said, hey, you'll get through it. I got through it. This is what I did. And some of you have sent me suggestions and tools and tricks that you found. And, hey, thank you. But I'm going to go to like some rigorous physical therapy this afternoon. And it's going to be painful. And I'm greatly looking forward to that baseball game tonight. And I don't know what's going to happen in that baseball game. I have no idea. But it's kind of one of the reasons why Chris Burke was right. A sneaky great sport that we've discovered here has been this Tennessee baseball thing. Brian Hartman said that. You have so many dates. As a fan, if you think about it, and my man Jake in Memphis shared this with us, you have so many opportunities to watch your team play in that sport. I mean, that's an extra. Well, how many games, Brian, by the end of the year do you play in that deal? Like on a if you say
around
you get
70 usually if you're a good
70.
team that makes is in
Yeah.
tournaments, then
70 extra dates. I mean that's
they
a
played
beautiful
73
thing.
last year. They won the whole thing, so
And then last year, what they played? The last
73
season.
total.
No, this season, this past season.
I don't think they played that many, but they played high 60s at least.
60 or so? Yeah. I mean, and then you're going to say to me, well, Tony, those midweek games aren't interesting. Sometimes they are. And the thing about the midweek games is you get to see your kids grow. It's a great sport. It's a great sport. And it's a great sport because it's a companion. When it's a companion and it drives you crazy, like the Braves fans right now, I was talking with my buddy C over the weekend. He's like, try this on for size. Every guy that started the season for us pitching is currently on the IL. You ever heard of that, Bino? All at one time, Bino. You ever heard of that? I haven't. They had a kid who's like a journeyman left fielder yesterday. They have a 2-run lead in the ninth inning. A ball's hit up in the air. It bounces off his glove and almost went over the fence for a game-tying home run against the Reds. You talk about a hard-to-watch team, but they're going to bring some kids up, let some kids play, and away we go. Let me get back to football. Y'all, I'm really struggling. I don't know how to talk about this thing without talking about it, without sounding alarmist. Because in my mind, I'm worried about this team now. I'm already doing, Bino, what I said I was not going to do in my mind. Does that make any sense?
Well, I mean, Tony, this is a team that obviously we're going to have several guys that we've never seen step up. It's just the nature of where we're at right now with the roster. So I guess you have to believe a little bit of what you've never seen. Like I've convinced myself that our wide receiving core is going to be fine. I still believe, and I'll die on the hill, that they're going to be better than 24 and 23. And at quarterback, this is what it is, Tony. Nico leaving turned this into a bridge year, a transition year, where you've got to have someone perform just well enough to manage your football team. Because next year was the year that we were supposed to go through that type transition, and we would have had a year. McIntyre would have had a year here, and you would have had a highly regarded freshman in behind him. So this is what it is. We got to have some things we haven't seen occur.
And here's the thought that occurs to me in the middle of the night. Look, I'm up all night. I won't bore anybody, but this thing, what this back pain thing does is, and the people that have gone through it talk about this, but it takes your nerve that runs down your leg and it heats it up. So once that nerve gets hot and it runs down your leg, you are not sleeping. There's no mind over matter. There's no if you will it so it's your masterpiece. There's no count sheep. I could count sheep like Jimmy Hyams on a Saturday afternoon, and I ain't sleeping. Okay? Because when he would count everybody in Neyland Stadium back in the day and put it on Twitter, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. There is no counting sheep. Okay? You're in like the fourth corner of your mind. Thought occurred to me last night. I wonder if during this camp, right, if somewhere, because Team Nico, they're going to wake up with the reality that, hey, God, we got a bad football team around my son here. right? We got a bad football team around my son. That is going to be the reality they're going to wake up to. I I wonder at some point if these Tennessee coaches look at each other, and there are no do-overs in this, right? But I wonder, Bino, this is the middle of the night now. Tony, should you say this on the air? I don't know. I'm going to say it because this is it's in my mind, and this is my show. I wonder if somewhere along the line they say to themselves, man, we should have just worked that thing out. We should have just figured out a way to keep crazy here. Stay with mediocre crazy for another year. You think that occurs to them, Bino, at all, or no?
I
Both sides.
don't,
Both sides.
Tony,
Both
because
sides.
they went through it and know every detail.
Yeah.
I think if they could have all possibly worked it out, they would have worked it out. I still don't blame Josh Heupel or the staff at all for what happened there. I think they made the only move that they could make. But, I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised if at the end of it all, that isn't a situation that just wound up hurting both parties. But
Yeah,
the blame still lies for me all on the Nico side.
Well, obviously, when you get up and leave at the end of here's my thing with Nico's thing. If you would have just gone back here, because look, this quarterback deal is going to hang over this team, and I'm not passing a judgment on Joey football one way or the other. I'm not. I'm just telling you that was a rough week they just went through with rough, R-U-F-F, rough, as in a dog barking, in like 32 point. Okay. I don't know how you're going to come out of this thing with anything but a bridge year, like Bino was saying. But I just wonder. I just wonder. Here's the other thing. When your quarterbacks are struggling the way they struggled last week, how do you grow these young wide receivers, Bino? Because if you look at the one pass play that was put on film with Colton Hood, and they released that now, okay? They blurted out who the quarterback was, but they released it. Do you have any idea, Bino, who was the shooter there? Who shot it out there?
I do not, Tone. No.
I mean, you only have a couple choices. You got Oswald.
Or the grassy knoll?
You on the grassy knoll. But I have a dilemma.
Tony, can I take a stance here? Just a quick stance.
Please take a stance.
I'm no more worried. I'm no more worried today, based on what we've heard from the first few days of practice, than I was before. I don't. I just take little. I just draw little to nothing out of those practices. Little to nothing.
See, I said that I wasn't going to get pulled into this when it was going to be good, right? But my nature, Bino, and this is just me talking, my nature as a sports fan is when I don't hear positive things, I get drawn into it. Does that make any sense? Last year, 1 year ago, I was in Ocean City, New Jersey. People were walking by. They're looking at me. I have my equipment. I'm sitting on the roof. I'm sitting on a porch. People are looking at me like, what are you doing? A couple people, which this world is so small, looked up and said, go Vols to me. A couple people during the week. I'm not going to lie. And I was like, wow, that's cool. we're in a smaller world, aren't we? But this year I anticipated hearing, hey, man, the quarterbacks are kind of look pretty good. They look pretty good, And I was going to temper all that. And now I got to temper. I got to do what Bino's doing. So I'm going to ask you, the living listener, are you with Bino? Or are you kind of like doing what I'm doing? Because I'm a catastrophizer when it comes to sports. I was going to temper the positive and really should temper the negative and just kind of say, okay, you kind of, and then should I just quit sharing what I'm hearing? Bino, should I do that? Should I quit sharing what I'm hearing?
No, I would. No, Tony. That's what you're supposed to do, is share what you're hearing. Absolutely not. But no, share it.
All right, let's get a timeout. We'll come back. We'll get some calls in. Congratulations to those folks at Bristol. And I'd love to hear if you were there. That was quite a scene. As we continue with more on the other side, it's hour one on your Monday after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
Only 3 homestands remaining to see your Knoxville Smokies play this season. And this week will be full of celebrations, starting with free hot dog night on Tuesday. All the hot dogs you can eat all night long. And if you're still hungry, we've got all you can eat Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday with half off draft beers. Then on Friday, we honor one of the founding members of the Negro Southern League, the Knoxville Giants. On Saturday, we're continuing the fight against breast cancer by painting the park pink. And on Sunday is Cocoa Melon Day. Grab your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
The end of summer means big savings and no more excuses to not call Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Don't let plumbing or HVAC problems follow you into fall, and take care of them now while the kids head back to school. Whether it's a leaky pipe, outdated water heater, or AC unit struggling to keep up, the expert team at Pipe Wrench is here to help you transition smoothly into fall with a home that's running efficiently and worry-free. This month only, enjoy 10% off any plumbing or HVAC service, including repairs, replacements, or maintenance. And Peace of Mind Maintenance Plan members will get an additional 10% off for 20% in total savings. From repairs to tune-ups to replacements, we'll help you check home comfort off your end of summer or back to school to-do list. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. So don't let HVAC or plumbing issues slow you down this season, and don't delay as the offer ends August 31st. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends. to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B. TB, back with you, 865-200-5402. It's amazing to be with you on this beautiful Monday. If you want to get in the hunting in the mix with us, several topics up for grabs. Offense at UT, slow start. Quarterback play, not good through a week. Doesn't mean it's not going to be good. But in terms of what it could have looked like to start off, it's on the bad side. Defense is going to be very good. Colton Hood can play. Zapruder film in full effect. ZAPR, capital U, capital T, the Zapruder film. Bino, why do you think they blurted that name out, and then we'll go, or the image out, and then we'll go to the phones? Because that is about damn silly in 2020, whatever year we're in, to do that. That's about the silliest damn thing in the world, but hey, they're doing it, not me.
Who put that out, Tony?
Tennessee.
Okay. Well, I guess they're just accentuating the positive, Tony. Going to show you a defender making a good play, and let's protect the innocent.
I mean, I don't get. And my favorite thing is everybody's so starving, right? At this time of the year, which is only natural, something you really, really care about. When you do that, it's like telling somebody, "Hey, look, really, you can do anything you want in this yard, but just don't go turn that stone over there. There's nothing to see under that stone. Okay, you got it? Okay. First thing anybody's going to do is go look under the stone. But let's go to the phones.
Hey, Tony, real quick, one thing that Orange Throat brought out today that's I think is going to be really interesting is as with the depth of the defense and with new guys showing up pretty early here, once Boo Carter gets back on the reservation, do you just basically use him more on offense than you do on defense? I mean, that would look to me to be the thing to do.
This Hood guy can really play is what I'm hearing. That's how I'd answer that. And our receiving room, and now we're your 1 weekend. And the Brazil guy just doesn't have the reputation as being a hard worker, and he's behind the 8 ball already with an injury type situation, which generally self-starter guys can catch up from that. And I'm not knocking him, but guys, I wasn't betting on him anyway. Because this is a deal here where it's super, super competitive, and you got to really work at it. And I'm not saying he doesn't work at it, but he kind of doesn't work at it. But let's go to the phones. I think you've got a great point, and I think the Throaty's got a great point. One has to wonder how they play it. I'm telling you what. They get that kid that blew up last year from Oregon State back sooner than later. That's going to be a very good defense. Now, I don't know what very good in the modern era means because people are still going to score on you because it's the nature of the game. Like, you're going to say, oh, I thought you were very good. Listen, I'm not saying they're the monsters of the Midway, okay? And I'm not saying this is 93 Alabama. And I'm not saying it's Georgia's defense from the last couple of years. But I am saying it is a playoff caliber defense. That's it. They have a playoff caliber defense. And to this point, I don't even want to say what the offense looks like. Again, I'm not going to do that. Other than to share with you that it was a rough week. Let's get Mark in the Lumbus in here. Mark, you're in the Lumbus, and I welcome you in.
Tony, read the blog today. It said players and units are allowed to get better, but Nico was never going to get better? Answer me that. You were convinced that he was not going to get better? When's basketball start? That's my question. Because this is you nailed it in the last segment. You pay the kid, you learn your lesson, and realize that the next time you deal with a high-maintenance kid in a high-maintenance situation, you be a little more careful on your background stuff before you even take the kid originally. But you pay the kid. You only got to deal with it for 9 months. So a team that was looking, you're building off a playoff appearance, you got one of the easiest schedules in the league, you got a chance to really establish yourself as one of the powers of the sport. You make back-to-back playoffs, you're a power in the sport.
Yep.
Now you're backsliding to 8-4 if you're lucky.
I'll tell you
When's
this, Mark,
start?
and again, Mark, I have the vim and vigor to fight you, but you know this thing I'm doing where I'm up all night and having every thought in the world about this stuff. I'm kind of thinking that staff, and I'll deviate from Bino on this, they've got to be thinking to themselves, man, and look, you can't make judgments on what's going on at camp because Nico looked like a world beater last year, and he wasn't. Now, is he as bad as I make him out to be? Obviously not. So, because he at least was going to provide some competent quarterback play, the two guys they're looking to this week, I was told, it just was not a competent week from them. And that's all they need from those guys.
The Aguilar kid can't play. He can't play. He couldn't play in the Sun Belt. How's he going to play in the SEC? He couldn't play in the Sun Belt. What are we doing here? Can't play.
Mark, I'm gonna disagree with you here. I do not think that you could let. I don't think that you could let Nico and his crew hold the program hostage. I don't think you could capitulate there. It may cost you a season. I think that could have cost you your program.
As long as we're in agreement,
I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it.
I don't totally disagree with you on that. That for the good of the program internally in the future and the culture of the program, yeah, you probably got to let them walk. But as long as we agree, they're throwing away a season. Plain and simple.
Maybe we'll see.
No, not maybe.
But
Mark,
they're
going to throw away a very good defense. It's going to.
They have a very good defense. Mark, they have
8-4 in this era doesn't matter.
And they have a very
in this era with the playoff doesn't matter.
They have a very, very, very good. And I'm telling you, this Colton Hood guy. You know what's weird about the Heupel era? While we're here, is they hit out of the portal last year. I don't know why they didn't go get the Branch kid from USC. They had Carnell Tate. They tried to get him. But when you missed out on those two guys, why didn't you go get a couple more people? This Colton Hood guy didn't project all that highly. He was a reserve cornerback on an okay Colorado team last year. Yes, he was a rotation piece for them. He's having a really nice camp. Why didn't they do that with wide receivers? It doesn't make any sense. Well, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Who's coming here to play with Joey Aguilar? Well, I mean, I thought you were talking about the first portal, but what did we say after
I'm talking first portal.
Game?
No, I'm talking first portal. First portal.
My thought about after the Ohio State game was, got to get Nico some help. The Squirrel White wasn't it. Brew McCoy, God love him, he couldn't run, and the Thornton kid couldn't run a route. So you got to go get Nico some help, and they didn't get him any help.
Well, here's the thing.
Of course he left.
That's
I don't blame him for leaving. I do, but I mean,
Bino,
what do you do?
He does have a good point, Bino. I mean, if you take yourself back in time, obviously Nico's father dealt with Tennessee in bad faith by trying to reach out and negotiate with fellow teams in the league, which to me is a complete non-starter. But like Mark said, Tennessee, to me, the mistake you made is you didn't cut him loose and give yourself a chance to go get somebody out of that winter portal. But the not adding a wide receiver in the winter portal just doesn't make any sense. Beanstar, when? They've been so good on the defensive side of the ball in that secondary, because that's what we're talking about. This is a perimeter football game. You have playmakers on offense, and then you have world-class athletes on defense that try to shut those playmakers down. Don't you think that's really strange, Bino, the way we handled that wide receiver thing now that you think about it?
Well, and guys, their philosophy may be wrong, but it's their philosophy. They want to build this team through high school recruiting and supplement through the portal. And they have done that pretty well. Now, why they didn't step out, maybe they just didn't think after they missed on the two you're talking about that there was anybody else out there worth the effort.
Really odd.
But we're going to see if their philosophy is right or wrong. It may have cost them Nico, but we're going to see if their philosophy's right.
I'm not even totally, like I said, I'm not saying you keep the kid. Like, I get it. The culture of the program matters. All that stuff matters. He's a pain in the ass. His dad's a pain in the ass. I get all that.
Yep.
And if you want to let him walk, you let him walk. But be willing to admit that they're punting on this season when you did that, because they are. Tony, they're not beating Florida at Florida. They're not beating Alabama at Alabama. They're not beating Georgia at home. Maybe they get Oklahoma at home. The rest of the games are kind of gimmies. It's 8-4, and that means nothing in today's football. When they get that third loss, I ain't watching anymore. The rest of it won't matter.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it if
it just won't matter.
I'll watch it if they're 5-6 because I love college football and I love watching my alma mater play. But I do know the thing you said off the top is really an interesting thought, which is, and there's a thought I had in the middle of the night, and I can't stand this Nico guy and I can't stand his father. Okay, I just can't. And really, it's his father more than the kid because I think the kid's just kind of a happy-go-lucky, almost like a Stepford at this point. If you rewind the clock here and you're able to keep the wheels on him, and you are right, how much better would he have gotten in this deal? Because he's also going to regret this. I think both sides.
Oh, of course he is.
Both sides, Mark, are sitting there going, you know what?
What did we do?
I broke up with you. What do we do? Can you come back would you take me back? Well, obviously it's too late for that now. It's too late for goodbyes. I mean, these two went off and got remarried without even thinking about it. Bino, he has a good point because who do we have on? Well, our odds maker was talking about if Nico's back. He said Tennessee's favored in every game but 1 to 1.5 games. Phil Steele said they're a preseason top 10 team if Nico's back. So
now, Tony,
just
I totally get the other side of the argument about the culture of the program and all that. But you're going to have to deal with him for 9 months. Bite the bullet, pay him, and that can be a lesson the next time you get involved with a high-maintenance kid/situation. But look, T. Martin wasn't great the national championship year. The next year he was first team All SEC in quarterback. You don't think that kid? You don't think Nico can get better? The kid's got unbelievable physical talent.
Now
off the charts physical talent.
Let me say this to you. Joey Aguilar, quit saying he can't play. You don't know that.
He can't play, Tony.
Oh,
he can't play.
Bino, why does Mark have to be this way? Bino, why does
Tony,
Mark
he threw 20 picks to the Sun Belt and got the coach fired. What's he going to do in this league?
I think, Mark, if the question is which guy do we get? Do we get the first-year Aguilar there who was pretty good? Or do we get the second-year Aguilar at Appalachian State who was not? I don't know, Mark, how a guy's going to be moving from that level up to SEC level. I don't know how often that works out, to be quite honest. I don't know what Joey Aguilar is going to do here.
Thank you.
I do think we've traded down, but I think that he could probably be just a manageable quarterback for a year.
Hey, Mark, we need him to be about 0.5 WAR. That's all we need. 0.5 WAR. We don't need.
But what's the goal here? What is considered a disappointing season among Tennessee fans? Is 7-5 disappointing? Is 8-4? Is 8-4 disappointing?
I'll be disappointed at 7-5. There'll be some disappointment with this schedule at 8-4.
I
don't know that we've ever played an easier schedule in our lifetime.
That's a big part of the problem. There's a huge opportunity here, and you're just kicking the can down the road.
I mean,
you got 3 games. With Nico, you had 3 games. You'd be favored in about 1.5 of them. You win 2. You win 1 of them, you're in the playoff again. Instead, you're taking a step back. That's my only point.
Well, Mark, thanks. I wanted to get thank you, brother. I wanted to give Mark some time to. So for other callers, please stay there. Sam and Rusty, we'll get to everybody. Look, I told myself I wasn't going to overreact to the good news, and I really don't want to overreact to the fact that these quarterbacks are off to a rough start. But Mark, if in your own words, if Nico's allowed to get better, so's this guy. right, Bino? So basically what Mark's telling me is, well, Joey Aguilar stinks because he stunk on the field. And by the way, Nico was going to get better this year. That's not congruent, is it, Bino? It doesn't make any sense. If one guy's allowed to get better, isn't the other guy allowed to get better?
Yeah, I think Mark's point probably is that you're talking about a guy with a lot of experience and a lot of seasons that you've seen at the college level, whether it be JUCO and then at Appy State, as opposed to Nico, who really just got started last season. So, and Nico's obviously got more physical skills than Joey's got, so probably got a higher upside. You know, Mark and I don't always agree, but I always enjoy the conversation. I'll say
yeah,
that.
me too. I mean, he's a character, and he's got really good takes. I mean, no question. We're not always going to agree.
There's thought in that. There's passion in that for sure.
Sure, and I honor that. So,
but I still would stand on, even if it cost us, and I'm not sure it's going to wind up costing us as much as Mark believes it will. But even if it does, I still stand on you can't capitulate. You just can't do it.
And this whole thing about, well, if you go out and you lose a Syracuse game, your season's over and I'm not watching. Bull. Okay? I call BS on that. Of course you're going to watch it. You know why? For one thing, it's a great sport. For another thing, you love it and you care about it. Okay? So don't give me this thing that just because we're in the playoff era and you get eliminated from the playoffs, that for some reason this doesn't matter. That is just not true. That is not true at all. Stop it. Come on now. You don't mean that. But he made several good points. It's this thing I thought was going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. And if the quarterback deal is a struggle, I mean, my gosh. I'm hearing great things on this McIntyre guy. I hear he can sling it around. They may have found a quarterback in him for the future. We come back on the other side. 865-200-5402. It's hour number 2. Sam, Rusty, hang there. More after this.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Hey, Tony B listeners, I'm Billy from Grade A Grounds, a UT grad bringing Knoxville a better way to raise money. We roast premium coffee fully branded for your team or cause. You keep 40% of sales and we donate 5% to local needs. Let's win on and off the field. Visit gradeagrounds.com to start your winning fundraiser today.
Living Vol fan, we're on the countdown to kickoff, and that means you need to make sure you are game ready. Head to Alumni Hall to get this season's Tennessee sideline apparel. Nike, Columbia, Peter Millar, and more. Shop top brands for the entire family. Hats, Yeti, tailgating gear, and so much more. If it's for the Tennessee fan, Alumni Hall has it. Spend $150 and get $10 in Hall cash rewards. Shop at alumnihall.com. Download their app or shop any of their locations in Knoxville, Murfreesboro, or the Tri-Cities. Alumni Hall, the ultimate shopping destination for Vol fans.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair.
and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
So, Mark in Columbus is an irritant. He's, I don't know. He's like a... How do I put this in terms that are generous toward him? He's like a festering hemorrhoid sometimes, Bino.
Goodness gracious. and that's the terms that you found that are
well, I mean,
okay.
He's just he you just know he's there. The other thing I like about Columba is he's never been an I told you so guy. Like, we haven't heard from him in like 3 months. And he called in and he was just wanting to fight with me. He was like, read your blog today. You ready to fess up and say I was right? And I'm like, Mark, look, I mean, we got to live in the reality we're in here. The reality is this. You can't make too much about week 1 in camp. Bino, we were just said a second ago. Peyton Manning, HOF. I'm telling you, we both went practice. Back in the day, before it was state secrets and Nick Saban was here and whirled the very balance of the entire living free world, we were able to go to practice. And the 97 and 98 teams, 96 and 97 teams, no, 97 and 98 is what we're talking about. One year I went over there with Bino. We looked at each other. It was this early in camp, and we were like, God, this team sucks on offense. This is going to be a... And then Bino was doing practice reports back then. He calls me up afterwards, and he says, I don't believe what I saw today. But I do believe that what I just saw wasn't very good. So we'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Look, I'm not going to overreact to this, but I do have to share with you in real time what I'm hearing. And what I'm hearing in real time is that was some bad quarterback play from Merklinger and Joey Football. Let's go to the phones. Through week 1. No practice today. They're back at it tomorrow. A scrimmage on Saturday. Obviously, you're getting close here. You know, you're going to get to the point where you're a couple weeks out. So the sands are going through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives. Sam, hello, welcome in, followed by Rusty.
Tony, how's it going? I am not an irritant. I am a shining light, the big orange sun.
Thank you, brother.
That's what
Good
I
talking. Good talking to you, my man.
Hey, don't tell Mark this, but the active career leader in total offense per game is Joey Aguilar, if he didn't know.
He can't play. You mean career?
All FBS players.
What? What?
The FBS active career leader in yards per game, minimum 2,500 yards, 288 is Joey Aguilar.
Colombo.
That includes all the Sun Belt people.
Hey, Mark, how did Colombo say it? What he can't play. Say it. Give me a little Colombo here. Bust me a little Colombo, Brian Hartman.
He can't play. It's dead. The season's dead. Come on, Tony. Come on.
Oh, I love Mark. I love his call. But Brian's imitation pops me every time.
He's a clown, Brian. He's a clown, Bino. What do you mean you like his calls? Do you like that little? You like that little itch down there? You got to scratch in front of people, Bino.
Hey, listen. Anybody that lives in Columbus, Ohio, and is a huge Tennessee fan is okay with me, and I'll take a little belly aching from them.
Even Sam will agree with that.
I love people like him that call in. It gives me something to argue against.
There you go.
That's partly why I do all this research, because I can pop it off in my head in no time at all. Well, that's wrong. I know the numbers, so. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of what I wrote and sent to you is, and I will agree, because you all have already answered the question. If the 97 and 98 teams look like crap in preseason, why do I care what happens in the first week of practice? I kind of wish they didn't even release any of it, and we didn't know. Because I'd rather just get to the season.
Well, they're not releasing it. I'm talking to people that are around the deal, that are there all the time, that share with me. So your vote is don't write anything.
No. I think you should release it. It's fine to talk about it, but I don't take much stock in it. As far as, sure, they might look bad this week and then great the next week. So, but that's the day and age we live in. We're going to take everything day to day and make it a projection. But that's fine. It's fun.
I had last year. I just telling myself I don't care. I had Nico in the damn Hall of Fame last year. I already had a bust picked out for him in Canton, Ohio. I referred to him as the chosen one, based on the stuff I was hearing in camp, and made a total fool of myself. So there's that.
Yeah. So this season is, the common word we hear is there's many questions, but the questions entering the 21 season were equal or greater than we have now. And part of what I wrote was not one player on that entire team had ever played in a Josh Heupel offense, and they scored 10 more points per game in SEC play than the last 2 years. So that's not a reason. It's possible to put up points in the first year. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember anyone saying that Joe Milton or Hendon Hooker were the next coming of whomever, and that our receivers were going to be incredible. And they had success that year. But we just don't know.
Yeah, you never know. That's the beauty of the sport. And look, Mark's right too. Nico could have taken a big step this fall, but him walking out the door means that he'll never know that, and we'll never know that. And maybe at the end of this all this, he's worse off and we're worse off. Or maybe one of us gets to have the last laugh in this deal. Who knows how it's going to play out?
Yeah, everything I've heard from various shows and former players that have been to practices is that the defense just looks downright nasty. The rotation on defensive line is as deep, even deeper. Shouldn't take a step back. So we basically have the same team as last year. We're just trying to hit on a couple things.
Need a couple playmakers.
We
You know
really
what?
don't know how good it could be.
Throaty might be right. They might look at this thing as camp evolves here in the first week or so till they can reintroduce Boo Carter. And Bino pointing that out today, they might just say, you know what, we're going to use this dude on offense. It would not surprise me, Sam, because you have to have a few playmakers on offense. That is a non-negotiable.
I think so. I've even heard suggestions of lining up Jason Brame in a like a set package to let him try to go catch balls. I don't care how they do it, but they're going to have someone go catch it. And again, on that 2021 season, in 2020, Cedric Tillman had 3 catches for 67 yards. 2021, he had 64 for 1,081. So who knows what receiver could emerge? You don't know. We don't know.
Really wild, man.
But yeah,
it's wild.
I don't think the final point is with Mark, this is not a punt year to me at all. And I don't think any Tennessee fans should look at it that way. There's plenty of reason to think that it could be a better season than certainly 7-5. They went 7-5 in 2021, coming off of NCAA sanctions, Jeremy Pruitt. So again, we just don't know, but I'm excited. And
well, we're looking forward to.
The best thing is we have 6 weeks to get ready for the Georgia game because that's when the football starts. You know, Syracuse doesn't have enough talent on either line to compete with us. We could run it for 70 plays and beat them by 3 touchdowns. So
Music City Sam's
that's
back.
What we're aiming for.
Well, Music City Sam's back blogging with us this week. What are we going to read tomorrow? Give me a preview here.
So I did a bunch of stats on the offense of 2021 to now, and with an emphasis on SEC production, the SEC points per game and the SEC pass yards per game. And in 2021, we averaged 35 points a game in SEC play, while the last 2 years were at 25, a 10-point decrease. And also, the offensive line last year, actually comparative to 2022, was actually fairly similar. They both had a similar amount of sacks given up. And the first year of 2021, we allowed 44 sacks, the offensive line did, and they still put up 35 a game in SEC play, which surprised me, actually. I didn't remember it being that many sacks, but that's what happens if you deep dive into it sometimes. But the main point of it is, with all those questions we had going into the 2021 season, they were still able to produce. So it's not really a reason to be negative that this offense couldn't turn the corner and get better. We don't know yet.
Thank you, Sam. And I think the thing that's really interesting about this year, win, lose, draw, whatever the record becomes, I'm talking about as we sit here in camp, is that the league has adjusted to Josh Heupel's offense. When you first saw Josh Heupel's offense and you saw them roasting Nick Saban's world-class safeties, I'm going to say sight unseen, all of whom, I know the guy that got burnt a million times in that game is in the NFL right now. But most of his DBs end up playing in the NFL. Nobody does that to a Nick Saban defense. That looked like when Steve Spurrier crossed the diamond with the pearl and turned it on the whirl, circa like 93 at Florida. That's what it looked like. And so now that kind of lurks in the background. Now, Joey Halsley said last week, we've worked on some counters and we've got some things for that, but that's that is part of it, right, Bino? Before we get Rusty in here, the fact that when they came off the bus, they came off the bus with an offense that nobody at that point in this league understood how to stop.
Yeah, Tony, I think there's obviously, with as many good defensive coaches as you have in this league, there's obviously been some adjustment to Tennessee's offense that has changed it. I wonder if the biggest issue is Josh Heupel's offense being figured out and someone kind of putting a top on what we can do down the field, or if we haven't had the right guy to switch to hit on the number of passes over the top that you have to make a difference. I wonder which of those is a bigger factor. But one thing that does have to happen here is we have to become more efficient offensively on long drives to where we don't stop ourselves.
Because until you show somebody you can execute in a 13, 14 play drive, they're just going to keep feeding it to you.
Yeah. And, one of our issues has been, and maybe it's an issue across the board when you have this many, it takes this many offensive plays to start, but there've always been penalty issues in there, whether it's jumping at the line of scrimmage, whatever it may be. But we have to play cleaner to have a more sustained type offense.
And any of these guys, when they get behind the sticks, you got problems. Any of these, even the great teams, even Tennessee's great offense from several years ago. Look, if I can get you in 1st and 15, chances are you're not getting a first down. Now, this is not ESPN StatCast, and I'm not going to quote you the numbers, but, that it stands to reason that no offense wants to play behind the sticks. But that year was just total child's play. And then the following year looked like we were watching one of Spurrier's Florida teams. Just out there running laps around everybody. Let's go back to the phones. Mark in Columbus says it's dad, and I need to own up to it. And, Sam says, come on, man. I said before the year that when I started to hear all this great stuff about our quarterbacks in camp, I wasn't going to overreact to it. But for some reason in my mind, and it might be that I'm tired, I'm overreacting to negative stuff. But none of this matters and none of this matters. But we still have to tell you about it in real time because you love it, we care about it, and it's kind of who we are. Let's go back to the phones. Rusty's up next. Hi.
Hey, guys. A lot to unpack.
Yeah, man.
Love Mark. Fantastic dude. Funny as all get out. Anytime we interact outside of this, he's just the best dude. Love him. He, I don't know how to describe it, if it's reactionary or it's panic. If you don't have the 27 Yankees, I don't know that he's going to be a positive dude.
Yeah, Mark missed us calling. Mark would be a great
best
resident.
Eagles Philly fan ever.
Oh, he'd be fit right in South Philly. They would love Mark.
Could you imagine if he was an Eagles fan and how miserable he would have been late third quarter in the Super Bowl this year?
Oh.
No. Okay. 06 Tennessee football team. First year, 07 football team. Cutcliffe just came back. We put up 35 and destroyed a number 9 Cal team in Neyland. Robert Meacham has a coming out party. Eric Ames throws 4 touchdowns. Fantastic offense. That team couldn't gain a yard the first 2 scrimmages of fall camp.
Yep.
Early camp stuff, defenses are supposed to destroy offenses, especially when we're supposed to be better on defense than we were on last year's defense. Also, Sam had some good stuff. Aguilar, every interception he threw last year, his team was behind by 2 scores or more. he was on a team where he was chasing points a ton. They could not block anybody. They couldn't stop a cold. The year before, they had a very, very good roster in protecting him, and his interceptions were low and his yards were through the roof, and he had threw tons of touchdowns. We don't know if he can play. We don't know if it's going to translate, but we don't know that he can't. And what's wrong with our offense? It's some of defenses have figured us out. And we did light Alabama up under Saban and Knoxville, and we were pretty good even with Joe Milton down there, especially in that first half his last year at Alabama. But it's not like last year Alabama defended us real well. We had guys wide freaking open 3 or 4 plays in the first half that should have been walk-in touchdowns, and the quarterback just couldn't put the ball on the money. Couldn't put the ball into a wide open area where you could punt it down the field and your guy should run under it. Just couldn't hit him. The quarterback that left, it has nothing to do. I mean, there's things about his intangibles that you've talked about and I've talked about with leadership and the right mentality. But take all that away. If he could have just thrown the easy passes, we would have been lethal on offense, just like the few years before under Hooker. That's all this offense freaking needs is a guy that can hit those throws, whether it's McIntyre, Merklinger, or Aguilar.
And when you're slow to process, and that process thing, man, that's the reason why some guys can play in the NFL and some guys can't. That little hitch, and it's a fraction of a second. Hey, it's a reason why in baseball, some guys can stand in there and stay in the league, and with other guys, it's extremely difficult, and they're great quad A players. And, man, that margin, that little tick there, just that whole process thing, could Nico have gotten better this year? Sure.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I've argued that. I've argued he could have got better.
Yeah,
I've argued that Tennessee made the mistake, and Bino said that Tennessee didn't make a mistake. I've argued that the mistake was made during the winter months at Christmas.
Yeah.
You tell him bye, or you get something done and you get it set in stone and you fix it. Then that's where the mistake was made. What they did in the spring, what they did during spring, whenever he didn't show and all that, that was the right move. But what they did prior was bad.
And that's why, and that's why I wonder, Rusty, because I'm just kind of a wondering person. I wonder if both those camps, both sides during this camp, are saying to themselves, you know what? Hey, Dad, we should have worked that out. This team around me can't play. Hey, guys, we should have figured out a way to keep Crazy Nick happy because we're in big trouble here. And I don't know whether that's the case. Look, I'm with you. I don't draw conclusions right now. I can only report what I'm hearing, and then you decide for yourself what to make of it. But one has to wonder if somewhere along the line both of these camps are going to go, man, we should have figured out a way to make that thing work. But who knows?
Here's what I think on that, Tony. As far as their camp goes, Nico and his family, I think they will regret it if it hurts his stock. I don't think they care about wins and losses. If it hurts his stock in the long run, they care about that. But I don't think wins and losses are important to them or him.
He's projected as a mid to late third round pick right now by almost everybody. And so, and I think one of the reasons for that projection is that the belief is he's going to get swallowed up this year. And you're going to see a whole lot more of his, what's the word? Warts. Warts would be the word. Because when you're not in an offense, even though he's in an offense that's probably better designed for him, but man, that offensive line around him, how are you going to succeed in that offensive line? And by the way, I hear our offensive line looks, and this is all relative. Now, they're getting swallowed by our defensive line, but the thought is, hey, we got some damn good players on the front line here. Like this Moy guy and a couple of these other additions. They're going to have they feel very, very good about that offensive line, even though it's a baptism by fire.
I've heard the line's more talented across the board except center. But you still got a freshman starting at right tackle. That's always scary. So we'll see. Last
Rusty,
thing on
last
thing on the former quarterback. Did you notice that he was better throwing to guys deep when they were covered as opposed to the ones where they're just running wide open? He was better whenever he was under pressure and got hit a couple times.
I didn't, but what would the reason for that be in your mind?
I think when guys were running wide open, he would get happy feet and get excited and not relax and just throw it easy. I think whenever the best though he made all season was late in the Alabama game or third quarter of the Alabama game when he rolled out and Dante Thornton covered. And it was a very, very tough throw to make.
Yes.
He threw it perfectly. But when Squirrel White's running down the middle of the field in the first quarter, butt naked, he overthrows him by 12 yards because your eyes light up.
Thank you, Rusty.
It was Jawan James on the breakaway dunk in Madison Square Garden when his eyes lit up and he slipped.
Appreciate you, brother. Listen, I'm not a quarterback whisperer. I don't know how these guys, Bino, spend all this time with all these quarterback coaches and spend all this money. And then people tell me that Nico doesn't have proper footwork when it comes to releasing a ball. I don't know how that happens. Do you?
No, I don't, Tony. I guess I look at it in baseball terms. What Rusty's talking about, it just you get a cookie and you just come out of your shoes, and miss it.
Yep, happens all the time. As the great Will Heflin told me, the difference between college baseball and pro baseball is those guys at the next level very, very seldom are going to miss those mistakes. When you watch a major league game and you'll see one of those great hitters, I'm talking about those 30-plus home run hitters. The other night I was watching Schwarber, and somebody hung one to him, and he just missed it and hit it like out of play. Those guys are angry with themselves, Bino, because they know.
Oh yeah, they know there's about one real good opportunity per at bat if you get that.
Yep. And then every once in a while you get a really good opportunity, like a ball on a tee, like a ball up on a tee. But we'll come back on the other side. Go over to tclub.team, see what we wrote about today's. Just some food for thought. 1 week into camp, Tennessee's off. They're back at it tomorrow. Look, I can only report what I'm hearing, and then you decide. I don't think the sky is falling, but I don't exactly think it's bright and sunny either. Does that make any sense? As we continue with more after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Although summer is almost over, the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe during extreme East Tennessee weather. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part? Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy pays cash. Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for Advent.
Hey, whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
TB back with you, and we welcome you back. I'm firing up, focusing, and preparing you today on the program. Extremely excited. Extremely excited. We'll go to the phones at 865-200-5402. Again, 865-200-5402. And let's get as many people in here as humanly possible. And let me start things off, ladies and germs, with the rustic one, followed by Big Josh.
Tony, how we doing?
I'm okay, buddy. How you doing?
Well, I'm good. I'm sorry to hear about your health issues, man. That stinks. I hope some recovery happens soon.
God bless Basilio. That's all I got to say. You know, I feel like a total like weakling simpleton going through this, but one thing's for sure, man, when you got that nerve pain coming out of that back, that will be undefeated in this world, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm sorry, and I hope by the time we kick it off in a few weeks, it's feeling a lot better.
Amen.
Tony, I would encourage you to stick with your guns. If your mindset going into this August was to not overreact to positive news, then let's treat the negative news the same way. For now, at least. And also, I think Rusty nailed it with the call before me in terms of defenses are always ahead of offenses this time of camp. So that's worth keeping in mind.
That would be so un-Philly-like, though.
Well, and I admit that because last year, Rusty, I had Nico in the freaking Hall of Fame. And I overreact to bad news because I don't know. It's like my nature. I don't know.
I think we treat it, guys, like these weather systems. Doesn't a watch comes before a warning? Isn't that right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So I think there's a scrimmage on Saturday after the second full week of practices. If the news coming out of the scrimmage is still kind of dire, then I would maybe put up a quarterback worry watch at that point. And then you maybe give it to the next scrimmage as another kind of watermark. And at that point, we'd have a true warning on our hands. But I think it's a little early at this point to freak out too much.
I agree with that. And the other thing is, we all knew offensively, you got a new offensive line. You've got a new quarterback that just got here. The Merklinger guy, I mean, we saw him no offense to him, but we saw him in spring football. I don't know about you guys. I'm not counting on him to be a frontline SEC player. Can I say that? Does that offend you guys? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here. So, and I do think this McIntyre guy can spin the ball around, and they say he fits pretty well into this offense, although he's saddled with a bunch of walk-on type wide receivers because we don't have a big wide receiver room. So by the time you get around to the third team, he's not going to be he's not going to be on the field with the frontline guys.
It will be really telling, Tony.
Yeah.
It will be really telling if within the next week we start hearing whispers or even full-on reports of they've actually got George McIntyre running with the ones a little bit today. If that's the case, then they don't think a lot of the other two guys at that point.
I just don't think they do that. And the reason I just don't think they do that is physically they don't want to do that to that kid.
Yeah. I would rather keep pushing Merklinger and Aguilar, see if you can. I mean, surely Heupel's a good enough quarterback coach. Surely you can get one of the two of them up to a serviceable level. And, man, the other thing I'd really love to see come back in this offense is get that quarterback tucking the ball and running again, because this is a different offense when you're incorporating those quarterback runs. And I think that's another thing that was missing last year, and another reason that the offense just wasn't nearly as potent when it mattered.
What do you think, Bino?
No, I think that's right. And I think that Aguilar may be more suited because I do think he can be a more physical runner than Nico.
Yeah, I would agree.
And a willing runner, right? He's just more of a, what's the word? More of a dog. He's got more dog in him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they'll get something figured out. Again, it may be a stopgap sort of year, and maybe with the defense we have and this very manageable schedule, maybe a stopgap sort of manageable quarterback can still get you 9 wins or 10 if everything breaks right. But I'm not quite ready to panic yet. Let's get a couple scrimmages in our books first.
Yeah, even then you can't panic. I mean, I remember years where the offense looks bad in the scrimmages because what they'll do, and we've seen this, is they'll shade the scrimmages to let the offense have success. You know, that's the other thing that you can do from a coaching standpoint. The one thing's for sure, by the time they get to camp, these kids are sick of hitting each other by the time they get to camp. Now, it's not like it used to be where you had 2 a day, 3 a day, and you know, I could tell what you had for breakfast, and I'm really, really sick of looking at you when I'm on the same team. But the thing that I know is that our offensive line is going to be very well prepared for that Syracuse game after going against that world-class Tennessee defensive line. Because I'm telling you right now, they are going to have a nice year on the defensive line.
Yeah, I think that's right. Well, I'll get out of here, guys. Tony, I'll say this. If you get feeling too negative, I know it's football season. We want to talk about football. But you've got good fodder for content with this Derek Dooley stuff. That deserves at least a segment at some point.
What is your because here's the thing about Dooley, and we've talked about this in the past. Dooley was so long ago that it doesn't even feel like, and when I say long ago, it's not that long ago in years. But it's long ago in terms of mileage on our sports fan tires here. We've been through so much. I can barely remember that guy coaching. I barely remember it. What is your read on Derek Dooley getting into Republican politics, senatorial politics, shooting for the moon, as it were? Down in Georgia today?
Not much, but I'm not really a political guy and don't think much of the majority of people running for political office. So Derek Dooley, in that sense, is just another face on an ad and a postcard, I guess.
Yeah, he's a total gas bag.
I wish him luck. See you guys.
So Georgia writes Derek Dooley. At Derek Dooley GA, which is very appropriate that's his thing, because the last time we saw him, he was a graduate assistant on Saban's staff. At Derek Dooley GA on his Twitter. Bino, don't you think that's good that he's giving a shout out to all the GAs, like the GA we had on the air, Arthur, who it was his dream. It was his dream to be an assistant coach, and his time with Derek Dooley belittling him and besmirching him was so bad. He told the story about how the GAs in the freezing cold were at Derek Dooley's West Knoxville mansion, and they had all these, they were hosting recruits, and they had current members of the team there in a big, huge house, and one of the assistant coaches, Brian, do you remember the assistant coach that it was that saw them out on the stoop freezing?
No, I don't. But
they were literally out there rubbing their hands together in the freezing cold where they could see their breath. I want to say it was the offensive coordinator, Cheney. He said, "You guys need to get in here. That's enough." Hadn't he invited you in? No. Dooley comes around the corner. Those guys are in there. They're relaxing. They're eating what little food's left. He goes, "Who the hell told you could be in here?" And the guys just kind of looked at him. They thought he was kidding. Ha, ha, ha. He wasn't kidding. He basically kicked them back out in the cold. So this guy said the following. This is at Derek Dooley, GA. Again, because he was a graduate. Last time we saw him in college football, he was fetching coffee. Was his last time, Brian, football with Dooley, with what's his face, with Saban?
Saban, I think so.
Yeah, and I guess he was eating sketty. Derek Dooley says the following: professional politicians always put themselves first. It's time to put Georgia first. That's why I'm running for Senate. Hey, Derek, you've never, because we know who you are, you've never put anybody first but you, buddy. And I mean never. No offense to you. As we go back to the
Tony,
phones,
if he's still as big a Richard as he was reputed to be here, you'd probably want to elect him in hopes he would relocate from your neighborhood up to D.C.
let's go back to our phones. 865-200-5402. You talk to anybody here about this guy. Maybe the rustic one's right. Maybe he is perfect for that deal. You know? Maybe he is utterly perfect for that deal. I'm really excited for the start of college football season, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this year is going to be highly intriguing and highly interesting, and I'm tremendously excited for what could be. And if you've got an inkling of how this thing's going to turn out, and by the way, we'll do a little overtime here. I don't know how much. Again, I'm going on about 3 hours sleep, and this is my vacation. So welcome to my vacation, as me and Bina said earlier.
Oh boy.
But my friends at VIP Play, you can go claim your welcome bonus right now. First bet, $5. You get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code you need is TNTony again. TNTony is the promo code. And we've got the U.S. Open right around the corner in tennis. We've got all kinds of NFL stuff across the board in the preseason ranks. We've got tons and tons, and tons of props on a nightly basis. Maybe you're going to bet on Bino's Yankees to get off the schneid tonight on the money line. All kinds of things to bet on, and they've released all 12 Tennessee Vol football games for the upcoming year. They were the first sports book in the state to do that, where everybody at VIP Play gets treated like a VIP. There's 200 leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. Saw a very good UFC card in the Apex over the weekend. Anytime I watch a UFC card, I watch those people compete. It's, some cards are better than others, but it's a great sport. If you can't find a bet on your book and you want to create it and it's compliant in the state of Tennessee, they got you covered at VIP Play. Online, VIPplay.com. And here's the thing. If you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in Tennessee to place a bet. And let's go back to our phones. 865-200-5402. And we'll get our next caller started, who is Josh. Josh, welcome in.
Hi, Tony. What's going on, man?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Doing very good. Just hanging out on the waiting list, waiting for the call,
On Danny's waiting list?
Yeah, on Danny's list. On the plumber.
24,000. 20. I was Laura and I were driving in the car the other day, and I was listening to the show on the animal, so to speak. And one of those guys actually repeated that they have a 24,000 waiting list, and I'm going, North Korea, okay, would be proud of that level of whatever that is. Imagine being an adult, grown-up male, no offense, and repeating that. A 24,000. You know what let me tell you what a waiting list means. You've paid to be on a list for the rights to buy tickets. If they have a waiting list, why are they still selling tickets to this upcoming season to people? But stay right there, Josh. You're not fooling me. You might fool them. You're not fooling me. Stay right there, Josh. As we, to the radio listener, I love you. I appreciate you. TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Here we come.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Josh, I love you. You knew you triggered me with that damn waiting list thing. That's you just triggered me,
hey,
man.
Tony,
at the end of the
this
show.
Country not a damn. This country's a snowball headed for hell if Derek Dooley can actually serve in the United States Senate. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I never thought it would get that bad.
I like when Heath Schuler became a congressman, and then I said, "Why didn't you stay up there?" And he's like, "It sucks." Was the guy? What was the guy's name from Oklahoma, Bino, that did it for a while? J.C. Watts, is that right? Why does that ring a bell?
I can't remember.
The Watts guy.
Tom Osborne.
No, it was the Watts guy. He said I couldn't get out of there quickly enough. Oh well.
Osborne fit in with old Tuberville. I could see them making the rounds.
There you go.
In Tuberville.
There you go.
But Tony, I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time getting excited about this football season. I mean, we're replacing 4 or 5 offensive line starters. We don't have a quarterback. Got 5 receivers, 3 of them's freshmen.
Yep.
No real running back that's actually stayed healthy.
Yep.
I don't see. I mean, this could go badly. This could go really badly. I got a lot of confidence in the defensive staff, but I mean, the wedding party on offense. I don't. It's year 5. I don't see much. We're going the wrong direction, man.
Bino?
I don't agree with that. I think I've seen enough past development to believe that we've got enough talent and got the ability to bring them along to where we see some guys develop. We'll see. The recruiting rankings say one thing, and our viewpoint is somewhat another. Without a question, we've got to have some guys step up and become playmakers. But I've seen this staff do it before with what I thought was a roster that was depleted. So I just believe that they'll do it again.
When you say, Josh, let's talk about this for a second, right? Because I think you're right. I think it's right about any of these teams in major college football these days that are kind of where we are, which is to say you're not loaded with 5-star players. So the possibility exists that it could go badly for you. I think that is I think that's right. It could also go very well for you, but it could go badly for you. I just don't know, Josh. But here's my thing. With that schedule, okay? Let's say you got really bad quarterback play and you don't have a tremendous home run hitter at running back and you still have questions at wide receiver. What's the worst? We need to think about this. With that schedule, what's the worst that could happen to you? 7-5?
I don't know, Tom. I think the defense is going to win you some games. So.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe 7-5. But if you lose to Syracuse, Tony, the whole season's going to be. The whole vibe on the season's going to change.
The day I was in the vomitorium, we had the Syracuse guest on, and they sound like they got way more issues than we do. Way more issues.
If you lose that game, your season's. It could fall apart completely. So, I don't know. Like Bino said earlier in the show, their kind of long-term plan is getting high school kids and developing them. But we're in year 5 and we've not seen one on the offensive line. Not one. I mean,
that's a true
start?
statement. Yeah, that's a true.
When's
But
the plan start?
But I mean, you're saying that, but yet they've had guys develop at a high school at all the other positions. So let's be fair here.
Yeah, they have they've had some good players, but and Heupel's overachieved. He's
yeah,
I think he's a good football coach.
I do too.
I just think I don't know if the league has figured out how to defend him. I don't know if we're not evaluating correctly or we're lazy on the evaluation side or what. I don't understand, Tony. I mean, it's just I'm just looking for guys on offense that I'm supposed to be excited about, and I don't see nobody.
Well, I think that's a fair statement. Yeah, I think that's I think that most fans, when they go to any kind of sporting event these days, because especially college football is so different than it used to be. You watch those games from the 70s, and it's like it's 3-0 late in the third quarter. If you did that today to the modern sports fan, Bino, some of the way those 70s games were so low scoring at times, I mean, people here would literally freak the hell out. These days, people want to see the ball go up in the air. They want to see big plays. They want to see playmakers, and I don't know who our playmakers are. Now, that's with or without the quarterback issues we may or may not have right now after 1 week of camp. And again, that's why, Josh, if it's me and I'm them and I want to keep the wagon going and I have the money they have, I would have talked somebody into that transfer portal back in December that could flat out take the and I'm not talking about the Jeremiah Smith kid. I'm just talking about getting somebody that's a functional major college productive wide receiver. And those guys are out there. Those guys are out there. The rest of our league did it. You look at the rest of our league. They did it.
They have to really believe in Matthews, Tony. I don't understand it either.
We'll see.
But to me, you just got to. I don't know. If you're the head coach at Tennessee, you can't let that happen. You got to get ahead of it. And this year is huge. So if you're, you can't let your star quarterback leave and then not sign some other stars somewhere. You can't let $2 million walk out the door and not go take that money and try to get somebody that's already been productive somewhere. And,
the time to do that was in
know.
December. Yeah, the time to do any of that was in December. The kids don't move in the spring, except Nico. That he's the exception right now. I mean, but look, we're 4 years into this thing. In my mind, he's the only frontline starter, first team quarterback. Look, you got the Angeli guy that moved, and we got a guy from UCLA because he lost his gig. Can you guys think of another starting quarterback that left in at the end of spring practice? Does anybody come to mind for anybody here? Because I can't think of anybody. I'm talking about a starting quarterback now.
No, I don't have one, Tony. I don't have one.
And then at that point, you're not going to get anybody to come play for you, Josh, in the spring when they know, oh, that's a spot that's destabilized. The time to do that was in December. I hope they learn from it. I hope they learn from that. Heupel's a pretty smart guy. Hopefully they learn from that.
I don't know, Tony. I hope it's a good year. I hope I'm wrong as usual. So anyway, I'm excited to see it get going at the minimum. So
thank you, brother.
Let's hope it's a good year. See you guys.
It's hard to believe. Is it 3.5 weeks away, Bino? Is that where we are right now?
Yes, I think. Well, we just about 4 away, Tony. Just about right at 4, I guess. 2 days short of 4 weeks.
So yeah, right. We're going to move up on 3.5. So
yep.
In a couple days, we're 3.5 weeks out. That is That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. And they don't have a lot of time. And they've got a real task here. And we'll see what happens. Again, over on the blog, tclub.team, Throat's got a great report today. I come behind it, sharing with you what I hear from camp. I'm going to continue to do that. We've got a couple sources that help us. I don't kiss and tell. They're there all the time. And I say all that to say that last year, these same people had me believing, because this is what they believed internally till the Oklahoma game happened, that Nico was, as they used to say in the trade, the bee's knees and the cat's meow and all that in a bag of chips. And the force don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Back to the phones we go. And I don't pretend to have the answers. I'm just going to tell you what I hear in real time. I told Brother Bino in the first hour when we first started that I didn't, and I still don't know how much to tell you, how much not to. I'm just going to tell you what I hear. And I really don't know what it means. Because I know, Bino, we did do that, right, early on today. And I also did it in the blog. I'm just trying to provide context for, at this time of the year, defenses all over college football are ahead of offenses. Just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, Tony, you made it clear from the start that this is practice information. You're repeating what you heard, and you admittedly said that you're overreacting some to the negative things that you're hearing.
And I'm going to overreact anyway because it's just who I am. So, and I don't even pretend to, I don't even pretend to have any answer, an answer, one answer, two answer. I don't know what to make of any of this stuff.
And to Josh's point, you have to have a little blind faith to believe in playmakers on the offensive side, because other than tight ends and Bishop, we don't have anybody that's proven themselves over there. Period. So I understand the angst. I do. I've just seen this staff before make lemonade out of some lemons like they did in the first year. And I believe that they've recruited well enough to where they can do that again.
To the phones we go. The college preseason poll is out, the first one of the year. Is this the official, Brian, college preseason poll, my friend?
This is the coaches poll.
This is the real one we look at, one of the ones we look at?
Yeah.
Obviously, polls used to matter, and they don't. But they've got our Tennessee Volunteers at 18. Beanstar, are you surprised by that?
I am. I'm not surprised Tennessee. I guess I would have thought maybe they would have been somewhere 21 to 25, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Or just outside the top 25. But I am a little bit surprised with that coming out now with all the questions. Yeah.
Of course.
And I think a lot of that's schedule driven as well.
All politics are local, and we're very myopic, but the usual suspects are going to be the usual suspects this year. But there definitely is an opportunity for somebody to jump in there and grab one of the remaining 4 or 5 spots, because that's going to be where the real racing is. You know, the race fans tell you the real racing does not occur in the front of a race. The real racing's in the middle of the pack. So it is with this college football playoff. Texas is number 1. Ohio State is number 2. two biggest payrolls in the deal. Penn State's number 3, another tremendously high payroll. Georgia is number 4, another tremendously high payroll. Notre Dame is number 5. I got to tell you something. This Marcus Freeman guy can coach. It's a pretty good hire they made, Bino.
A really good hire, Tony, and I thought it was a rushed mistake when they made it.
So did I.
One that was more driven by who the players wanted than who people going out and doing a search like you would think Notre Dame would do. But I agree with you. I'm really, really impressed with what Marcus Freeman's done there.
Dabo Swinney and Clemson are number 6. I'm going to tell you something. They're loaded with talent. I don't know if you've looked at draft projections for next year. And draft projections don't mean everything, but they're a pretty good indication. And when you have several day 1 picks on your football team, several day 2 picks, I'm talking double digits, which is what they're going to touch. They've got a ton of talent on that team. I'm buying all the Clemson I can buy. They're going to beat the absolute.
I was wrong about them too, Tony.
I was so wrong.
I thought that Dabo had gone too far.
Yep.
In avoiding portal and transfers.
He's now taking
building his
guys up.
Program solely off the high school level.
And he's now taking portal guys. Oregon, again, a big spender, number 7. Alabama, a program I'll buy this year to make the playoffs at number 8. Too much talent around that group not to. And he's recruiting very well, and he's been a winner everywhere he's been. And I hate to say this, but he's going to be very good there. This is a key year for him, though. They go out, they go 8-4. He could get in trouble pretty quickly down there, and they could knee jerk on him. That's a knee jerk place. A guy I've sold since he came into the league, and will continue to till I see it, even though he consistently wins right around 10 games a year, is Brian Kelly. They start off at number 9 this year. You've got Harold Perkins, your captain of your defense. You've got Garrett Nussmeier, obviously. Miami, number 10, with Carson Beck transferring in. Bino, I think these are the opportunities. I'm selling Miami with Carson Beck. How about you, Bino? What are you buying, selling, or trading?
I'm going to sell.
Arizona State's number 11. Number 12 is Illinois. Again, these are the opportunities. If you're at Tennessee and you're thinking we can make a playoff, these are the teams you got to jump. Arizona State, the Dillingham guy, that's a pretty good story out there in the desert. Luke Altmaier turned down overtures, which we talked about in real time, from the University of Tennessee. He's a local hero now. Illinois, that'd be a cool story, Bino, if Illinois made the playoff out of the Big Ten, wouldn't it?
Illinois and Michigan State, football-wise, are a couple of Big Ten teams that I do not hate, and there are very few of those.
I like how their building looks when you watch a game on television, and I've always thought they had cool colors. I go back with them to the throw-in Samoan, Jack Thompson. Do you remember him, Bino?
I do, and I remember the bottom 10.
Yes.
They had Jack Thompson in there. I thought he was at Washington State. I thought
you're right. No, you're right. Who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of that was their quarterback from that era? You had Mark Herman at Purdue. You had a really cool quarterback at Illinois. You're right. Jack Thompson, the throwing Samoan, was Washington. You're right.
Washington State. Anyway, the bottom 10 had in there, I think he had a game where he threw 5 interceptions, and they started calling him the Please Stop Throwing Samoan.
And who did we have last year? The throw and get mowing. Number 13 is South Carolina. Again, It's an opportunity for somebody to make a playoff spot. Michigan's 14. A Michigan opening the season with Oklahoma. Texas and Ohio State playing each other. LSU and Clemson. I mean, let's damn go. Let's go! By the way, speaking of which, if you know Rapper Andy does listen to the show. Rapper Andy, Laura and I last night were watching your hype video when you called out a potential opponent in a couple weeks up in Freedom Hall. They still will not let him in that event, Bino. And I'll tell you something. After watching Andy's workout video, I can see why. Because those hands of his, if he gets any quicker with his hands, he's going to have to get down to the local police department and register those things as lethal weapons, Bino.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Never been successfully photographed.
He did a promo. I don't know if you saw it, Bino, but I was like, we need to run that on the air tomorrow. And then no sooner did I say that he tells this guy, he goes, now look, if you think you're going to effing hurt people, well, F you. I'm going to jam my effing fist in your effing mouth. Love me some Rapper Andy. Ole Miss is 15 again. Bino, is Ole Miss making a 12-team playoff in our lifetime? Yes or no?
I am going to say yes.
How about that?
I'm going to say Kiffin makes a playoff there.
That'd be a neat story. And he's a hell of a coach. And if something happens
and
with
they
our
have
guy,
a schedule this year again that they may do it with.
Oh,
if they get as good a quarterback play as I think they may get.
If something happens with our guy, that's the first coach I call. I give him a chance to come back. I think he would be hell on wheels here. I think he'd be dangerous here. Back to the phones.
I think he would appreciate it this time for sure.
No doubt about it. And he could write his own version of You Can Come Home Again. Hello and welcome into our next call. As you're on the air. Josh, you welcome in.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? How are you doing today?
What's up, brother?
I'm not. I think Tennessee, that is right. I think they're just right at 18. Not too low, not too high in the preseason poll.
Yeah, it feels high to me. But like Bino said, when you look at that schedule, I mean, like Josh earlier was like, well, this thing's going to bottom out. What is bottom out? What does that even mean? I mean,
yeah, I didn't get that when he said that.
Well, look how easy the schedule is. Let's say everything goes wrong. Let's say your quarterback goes wrong. Your wide receiving core goes wrong. Your running back goes wrong. All that stuff. Yeah, and you still have to play that really easy schedule. Really easy schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. So what would be the worst-case scenario, Tony, for Tennessee, in your opinion, this season, win-loss-wise?
You tell me.
I would say worst case, I know some people are probably going to hate it, but 7-5. And best case for me would be 8-4, 9-3, about what most people say for this year.
What is the floor, Bino, for this Tennessee team, right? Is it 7? Is it 6? I mean, is there a pathway to go to? I think you'd have to have a bunch of injuries on your defense to only win 6 games.
I think in a normal injury year with this schedule, Tony, that 7 is probably the floor. And Josh, he's probably right. If you look at this team with how it's currently constructed, unless you get some really dynamic playmakers to step up. I think 9 is probably the ceiling. I think this is probably a 7, 8, or 9 win football team, with the most likely thing being 8.
And I think some people think that if we do go 10-2 this year, somehow you're going to need a lot of variance to go right, like beat Georgia or Alabama and stay healthy for most of the season. And you're going to need a lot of breaks too. What do you think, Tone?
Well, I think you're right, man. I think that's why this thing's going to be fun. And we're going to play it out. We're going to watch this thing happen.
Yeah. Hey, Bino.
Hey, did you go?
Yeah.
Did you go up to Bristol, Josh, for the game?
No, I didn't. I just watched it on TV.
Did you think about it?
No, I never thought about going, and I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Really? I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Did the Braves look? Did the what's going to ask you? I see where Riley's now on the IL. This has been a brutal season for you all, man. Brutal.
And how
dude.
about that Eli White hitting 2 home runs yesterday, and the only player homer in that park?
Eli White, who's like a good for him. He's a journeyman player getting an opportunity. He about knocked that ball over the fence in the 9th inning. That was the most 2025 Atlanta Braves thing that happened yesterday. That ball went within a square inch of going over the right field wall.
And when Iglesias came in yesterday, Tone, I thought we were going to blow it when they got back-to-back base hits.
Yep. Josh, do you think my Phillies edge out the Mets with this Duran acquisition?
Yeah, I do. I think they're going to be – it's either them or the Dodgers that are going to come out the NL this
Really?
playoff. Yeah.
I don't know if we hit it enough.
You don't think so?
I just don't know if we hit it enough, man.
Yeah. Hey, Bino, what happened to your Yankees this week against the Marlins?
Well, the Marlins are playing good baseball, and the Yankees are not, Josh. Pretty much as simple as that.
Bino, what'd you think of the Marlin closer that comes in and slaps himself in the face on the way to the mound?
Tony, I didn't see. I followed most of the games on my phone. I didn't get to see much of the series this weekend. I'm glad I didn't, to be quite honest.
Well, you need to go on.
I'd say that if you got somebody slapping himself in the face in baseball, it's probably a late game reliever that's about half nut.
Duran's entrance in Philly, the people from Minnesota,
it's pretty cool.
Well, they sent the Phillies all the elements. They sent him over in like a graphics package so that they could use them.
Oh, wow.
They liked that kid that much. They said, you know what, we're going to do this kid a solid, and I hope it works out well because he's a lot of fun, and the people up there, man, are really fired up when they bring that kid into games now. That's a new special treat. One thing I like.
I know
about
the
trade
Yankees
deadline,
acquisitions look good on Friday, Tony. They brought in their new bullpen. They should have rolled the damn cage out there when they brought those guys in there. Bird couldn't get me out.
I love it.
Hey, Tony, do you think, I doubt it happens, but if we do go 7-5 this season, do you think this Heupel guy would be on the hot seat next season going in?
7-5, not on the hot seat, but after the following year, if this guy put up 2 7-5s the way college football is today, it'd be hard for him to live to see a third year. It's just how this thing works.
Right.
But I'm not going to talk like that.
Bino, after your Yankees getting swept, I have to do this to you, man. Clayton McHugh took his clipboard for the Miami Marlins. He turned that summit sideways and stuck it straight up there in Ms. Kenya.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Joshy.
Let's. Brian. Do you have time, or do you got to get out of here? Because Brian's got to be somewhere. Talk to
Let's
me,
get
Brian.
one more in W Land, and then that'll wrap it up.
All right, W Lynn, welcome in.
Today,
doing good.
As bad as this Brave season's going, at least I can say for the rest of my life that for the first official game, a real game in the state of Tennessee, the Braves won.
Yep.
And I don't know if you saw the 2 home runs. They stayed on the track, and the only thing they need to improve if they ever do this again is they need to get that buzz ball cannon that used to shoot T-shirts, so they can shoot those balls over the crash fence into the fans. Because the poor guy trying to throw it over that fence threw his arm out. Did y'all see that?
I did not, W. Lynn.
He's over there holding his shoulder, and he tried 2 or 3 times. It was pitiful. So, but I always just thought the fans ought to get those home run balls. We can use that old buzz ball cannon, they use for T-shirts or something next time. But
W. Lynn, I believe one of the reasons why they played that game there, and this is just me, because they are priming the pump to move a team to the great state of Tennessee, and they wanted to introduce Major League Baseball into our state. I believe that's one of the reasons why they did what they did. I think that's coming very soon.
If baseball goes to 32 teams, I think Nashville will get an American League team.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, but I think an existing franchise could end up in Nashville before it's over.
Well, that's true, too. But I'd like to go down memory lane a minute, and part of it is one of the greatest quotes Bino ever made. One thing I'll always love about Lane Kiffin is he had those 4 open practices in a row to the public that we all got to go over there and sit in Neyland Stadium and watch practice. And the last 2 games, they opened the concessions. And I'll never forget, Bino said they're selling the popcorn from last year's Kentucky game. You remember that, Bino?
Bino.
I'd forgotten, W. Lynn, but I once I'm off the show, I never remember what I said today, let alone what I said when Lane Kiffin was here. There's no telling.
Danny Dollar today, Tony, if those 4 practices were open, he'd make the season ticket holders pay $100 a ticket to go. You know how he is.
Danny took tickets away from an 88-year-old man, W. Lynn. That's what these guys are doing now.
I saw that on the TV and got so mad I was ready to just go over there and go nuts. I mean, I saw that whole story.
It's not Danny White. It's the whole deal. But college sports are disgraceful the way they treat their fans. It's an utter disgrace. It really is an outrage.
And their students.
That's a total outrage.
It really is. But as far as this season coming up, I'm not panicking. Defense is great. The late great Coach Major said 1/3 of the game's kicking. RIP GQF on that. I think our field goal kicking and punting teams, I think that'll be a big advantage this year. And we might see a lot of games where we win 20-17 or even 16-13. And I'm okay with that.
If that quarterback play is any indication, W. Lynn, that punter better get himself a restful summer because he's going to get used.
And the kicker, he was 20 of 26 last year, and I know some of them were long, but we're going to have him hit more field goals, too, because sometimes we're just going to get it inside the 50 and maybe have to kick a field goal. Our defense is good enough that we win a lot of close games. We did it last year.
Hey, this guy can coach. Hey, this guy was supposed to come in here and be an outscore you, ring him up, pinball machine, that kind of thing. This guy last year, when they realized Nico couldn't play, they called a meeting among those coaches, and they said, we're going to coach the hell out of this team. They got him to the playoffs last year. This guy can coach.
Yeah, he can coach, and you know, the last 2 years there's been a lot of overthrown passes. Joe Milton, Nico, and, you know, if you hit 35% of those things for touchdowns, that changes the whole way our offense looks. Now, whether this guy can heave it long and we get it to a long man, I don't know. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be, but I'm going to be positive about this year.
W. Lynn, you're the man, and I appreciate you, and it's been incredible. Thank you, Brian Hartman. Thanks for coming over and chipping in for us. I'm glad the boys are back in town. Bino, Jeff, I give you the final word, and you'll be with us on Friday. And about 3 weeks from now, we'll be down at Calhoun's on the River, my brother. It's going to be incredible.
I'm really looking forward to it, Tony. And I'm a little slower to get geeked for college football season than I used to be, but anytime that calendar turns to August, I get ready and I start getting excited about it, and I am. Tony, I need some prayers, please. My brother-in-law Edwin is having a surgery on Wednesday to remove a cancerous kidney. Oh. And I want everyone to please pray that goes well, and pray that the cancer is contained in that kidney. Having it done at Vanderbilt Hospital, he's got a remarkable surgeon. Just pray that all the cancer is taken when that kidney's taken, please. I'd appreciate it great.
So Bino's brother-in-law, Edwin, those of you who are praying people, please pray for him. And it's on that note, I want to thank you. I want to thank my friends at TLD Logistics online at tldlogistics.com. They got you covered from pillar to post for all your shipping needs. And if you're in the trucking game and you want to change and you want to look around, and they've got great opportunities for you. TLD Logistics online at tldlogistics.com. For Bino, please pray for Edwin. For Brian Hartman, continue to pray for him. My name's Tony Basilio. I really thank you for being with us today and had some great discussion. And here's the good news. We're one day closer to football time in Tennessee. In the meantime, check out our blog over at tclub.team. We'll have some great stuff for you tomorrow. A couple of interesting nuggets on hoops I'll have. A few other thoughts as well. As we continue, it never ends. The fun never ends. We love you. God bless, and G to the B to the O.
You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com.